The first meeting between Shi Yan and Zhu Qinghe after her return home took place at a close friend's wedding. To be precise, it was also their first encounter since their breakup 3 years ago. She served as the bridesmaid for the day, while he stood as the groomsman. After 3 long years, the man who had haunted her midnight dreams now stood right before her, dressed in a tailored suit and exuding refined grace. It was as if the youthful boy locked in her memories had suddenly grown into a mature man overnight. Shi Yang bit her lower lip, letting the sharp pain jolt her back to her senses. This was a solemn occasion, and she could not afford to lose her poise. Now that you're back, your happy ending with King, he must be just around the corner, right? Zhang Mo, Shi Yang's roommate and the bride today, whispered with a bright smile. Shi Yang shook her head lightly. I have no desire to be trapped by trivial daily chores so soon. Women age far faster once they marry. Feigning offense, Zhang Mo pouted. How dare you curse me, Xiao Yan? Spare me, brave lady. I would never dare. The two laughed and chatted, waiting for Wu Qi and the others to join them for the toast. Are you really set on being total strangers to her from now on? Wu Qi glanced at Zhu Qinghe, genuine regret in his tone. Once, Shi Yang and Zhu Qinghe had been the most admired couple on campus, gifted and well-matched, deeply in love. No one had ever imagined they would end up apart. Zhu Qinghe's gaze had never once drifted toward Shi Yang. Hearing Wu Qi's words, he shook his head softly. I have no idea yet. Patting his shoulder firmly, Wu Qi spoke earnestly. Perhaps she holds no hard feelings. At the very least, she deserves the truth. Zhang Mo and Wu Qi's wedding was simple and intimate, with only 8 or 9 tables of relatives and close friends. The last table was filled mostly with old university classmates, who chatted freely and warmly. As the four approached to propose a toast, teasing voices rose up. After celebrating Brother Wu and little Jasmine's wedding, will Zhu Qinghe be next to tie the knot? Shi Yang's fingers tightened around the wine bottle, her knuckles turning pale. Before she could respond, she watched a cigarette slip out of Zhu Qinghe's cigarette case. So petty and weak-willed. She stepped sideways, picked up the cigarette, and held it out to him. Clad in a pale blue knitted dress, her graceful figure was faintly visible as she crouched down. Zhu Qinghe quickly looked away, reaching out to take the cigarette from her hand. The moment their skin brushed, a warm, dry touch seeped into her palm, exactly as it had been years ago, stirring familiar flutters in her heart. Shi Yang pulled her hand away abruptly, forcing a bright smile as she addressed the crowd. That all depends on how generous your read envelopes will be. Laughter and noise filled the air, yet Zhu Qinghe caught every word she said with perfect clarity. 3 years later, she had grown far more calm and composed. Shi Yang and Zhu Qinghe first crossed paths through the university's time-honored tradition, the intercollegiate debate competition. These contests had thrived in their university years, birthing numerous star debaters. The annual Deliberation Cup championship had always belonged exclusively to the law school, or the liberal arts school without exception. The law school had claimed the title the year before Shi Yang joined the liberal arts debate team. As the new competition drew near, her teammates were determined to avenge their defeat. Handpicked as the most promising freshman, Shi Yang took on the vital role of third debater, bearing the pressure of defending their title. The law school entered the competition with full caution, led by their ace debater Zhu Qinghe. Countless exaggerated rumors surrounded him. It was said he had outwitted senior debaters in an impromptu debate on his first day in the team, and his exceptional talent had quickly earned him a spot in the National Debate Training Program. The grand final was held in the campus auditorium, live-streamed online for audiences nationwide. Seated on stage, Shi Yang glanced at the dense crowd below, her nerves flaring with sudden anxiety. In stark contrast, Zhu Qinghe remained utterly unruffled, exuding powerful presence with just his quiet posture. His eyes swept over the opposing team, lighting up instantly when they landed on Shi Yang. Quiet joy bloomed in his chest, tugging at the corner of his mouth. When the bell rang, the host began the self-introduction segment. Warm applause erupted for Zhu Qinghe, and Shi Yang smiled faintly, acknowledging his undeniable charm. Tall and slender, with fair, delicate features, he embodied youthful vitality, paired with a wild, bold edge that sparked curiosity and longing. Midway through the debate, Shi Yang fully realized why he was hailed as an unbeatable opponent. His arguments rested on unshakable foundations and razor-minus sharp thinking, making every round of free debate far more grueling than any exam. Still, she had prepared for this moment countless times in her mind. The law school prioritized rigid logic above all, and she had studied Zhu Qing's past matches. Noting his near-minus flawless reasoning, her team's strategy was clear: evade his logical attacks and focus on emotional and value-minus-based arguments, a risky tactic that offered their only chance of victory. This indirect counter-strategy paid off. The liberal arts school narrowly secured the championship by a mere 0.6 points. Relief washed over Shi Yang the second the results were announced. Whispers of doubt lingered among the audience, questioning the judge's fairness. But she paid them no mind, desperate to return to her dormitory and change out of her formal clothes. It was late November, bitterly cold in the northern city. Though she had stuck heating pads under her outfit, she shivered relentlessly, her hand cold as ice. As etiquette required, the winning team shook hands with their rivals. Bringing up the rear, Shi Yang stepped forward to greet Zhu Qinghe. His palm was warm, dry, and far larger than hers, offering an unexpected sense of security. She noticed his long, slender fingers, well minus suited for delicate work, and nearly laughed at her random thought. When she looked up, their eyes locked, and tender ambiguity hung thick between them. Her heart skipped a beat, recalling a line she had once read: "I have seen rolling mountains and endless rivers, yet one glance at your brows and eyes made all worldly scenery lose its spring radiance." The moon rose above the treetops as guests gradually departed. Seizing a quiet moment, Wuki called Shi Yan aside alone, confused. She followed, wondering what he needed to tell her in private. In the empty corridor, Wuki scratched his head hesitantly. "I think I owe you the truth about Zhu Qinghe." Silent and tense, Shi Yang's mind raced to worst-minus case scenarios, fearing he had betrayed her with someone else before their breakup. After careful consideration, Wuki spoke gently and objectively. By the end of his explanation, tears glistened in Shi Yang's reddened eyes. "It's all in the past now. HES safe and sound," Wuki comforted awkwardly. Blinking back her tears, Shi Yang masked her sorrow with a light tone. "I'm fine. The party must be ending soon, let's head back." When they returned to the hall, most guests had already left. Zhang Mo walked over with Zhu Qinghe and suggested warmly, "It's late and unsafe for you to take a taxi alone. Let Qinghe drive you home. He didn't drink a drop tonight." Wu Qi added. Shi Yang met Zhu Qinghe's gaze staring directly at him for the first time all night. He knew her well, aware she hated imposing on others, yet could not bear to let her travel alone in the dark. Lowering his voice to a soft, coaxing murmur, he asked, "Let me take you home, okay?" That gentle question had been his favorite phrase in the past. Spoken in a soft southern accent, laced with occasional sweetness and quiet fondness, it had always made it impossible for her to refuse. "Okay." Shi Yang tilted her head, a calm smile on her lips. "He'll fetch my car from the parking garage. Wait for me a moment." Anxious not to keep her waiting, Zhu Qinghe left in a hurry. Shi Yang watched his retreating figure, her gaze deep and thoughtful. When the black sedan pulled up before her, she slipped into the back seat without hesitation. The moment the door opened, the familiar scent of osmanthus surrounded her, the exact fragrance of the perfume she had once gifted him. "Wanting a state on R.U. Owen Road, thank you." An awkward silence settled in the moving car. Though tense, her mind was preoccupied with the truth Wu Qi had revealed. Tiredness washed over her. After 10 minutes, on the road, leaning her head against the window, lulled by the comforting scent in the car, she drifted into a light sleep. She woke only when the car came to a stop outside her residential compound. Zhu Qinghe sat quietly in the front seat, neither scrolling on his phone nor waking her. Straightening her posture, she cut straight to the point. Su Qinghe, did you break up with me because you stopped loving me? Shadows danced outside the window, streetlights filtering through branches to cast soft hazy light. Su Qinghe fell silent, unable to find the right words. Shi Yang waited patiently, no trace of urgency in her expression. His heart twisted in agonizing torment, trapped and helpless against her quiet questioning. After a long pause, she relented softly. Never mind. Thank you for the ride home. Far from feeling relieved, Su Qinghe ached to speak. Terrified she had already drawn her own final conclusion. Yet courage failed him. Often, silence itself is the most definitive answer. The next morning, Su Qinghe discovered a glazed earring left behind in his car. After lingering in hesitation, he resolved to return it to her. Their contact had been broken for years, and their last WeChat message remained his cold line, "Let's break up." Staring at those words for 5 seconds, he closed the app, too afraid to send a message and confirm if she had deleted him. Instead, he sent a text. Unbeknownst to him, Shi Yang had left the earring there on purpose. "You left your earring in my car. When are you free? You'll drop it off." Reading the message, Shi Yang smiled knowingly. Su Qinghe, how can you be so foolish? If your heart were really close to her, you would have left the earring with the security guard without a second thought. 5 o'clock this evening. She typed the reply, glancing out the window to plan her outfit, determined to catch him off guard. At rush hour that evening, the sedan pulled up outside her complex. Taking the earring, Shi Yang spoke casually. "Traffic must be terrible on your way back. Let me treat you to dinner as a thank you." Her eyes sparkled with obvious hope, impossible to turn down. Sighing softly to himself, Su Qinghe yielded. "You'll find a parking spot first." Distance had dulled his longing when they were apart, but seeing her lively smile before him reignited every suppressed emotion. He knew he should keep his distance, yet craved just a little more time by her side. Avoiding long queues, they chose a quiet Japanese restaurant with available seats. While waiting for their meal, Shi Yang stared intently at Su Qinghe, making him fidget nervously, confused if there was something on his face. He brushed a hand through his hair, a silly gesture that made her laugh. Leaning forward slightly, she asked softly, "I've always wondered why you chose to break up with me the day I came back." Her tone was light, yet Su Qinghe sensed hidden hurt in her words. Locking eyes with her, he replied steadily, "I couldn't endure long distance any longer. After years apart overseas, my feelings faded before I realized it." Tucking loose hair behind her ear, she pressed gently, "So you waited until my return to confirm whether your love had faded, or if it was just temporary weariness?" Su Qinghe frowned, overwhelmed by her sharp questions. Their awkward stalemate was broken by the waiter arriving with their meal. Shi Yang reveled in teasing him now, eager to strip away his calm composure and see him flustered, just as he had once toyed with her in college. Everyone had once believed she had fallen for him first, but the truth was far different. Su Qinghe had noticed her long before the debate competition, too shy to ask for her contact information. It was only after their debate showdown that he had mustered the courage to pursue her, teasing her relentlessly to make her blush and grow flustered in his presence. Now the tables had turned. Holding a napkin, Shi Yang leaned across the table, closing the distance between them. Surrounded by her faint scent, Su Qinghe froze, his ears flashing red, long lashes fluttering nervously. "You have sauce on your mouth," she whispered, dabbing his corner lightly with the napkin. Believing her lie, he murmured, "Thank you." Shi Yang picked up her chopsticks and took a bite of salmon, her voice soft and teasing. "I was lying.